Is evicting a Section 8 tenant hard in New Jersey? This video is for landlords, property managers, anyone leasing property to or thinking about leasing property to Section 8 tenants in New Jersey. Our firm, law firm of Earl P. White, regularly does evictions, including evictions of Section 8 tenants. And it does add some complexity. In this video, we are going to cover why evicting a Section 8 tenant can be harder than other tenants, and also some things you need to know while you're doing the evictions to make the process go smoother and to increase your chances of success when evicting the Section 8 tenant. The first item to be aware of when you are evicting tenants in New Jersey, and this is not just Section 8 tenants, New Jersey is a very pro-tenant state. You cannot just remove a tenant. New Jersey has a law called the Anti-Eviction Act, and unless you fall into an exception, such as a two-family owner-occupied, your eviction needs to be for cause. For cause means there has to be a specific reason, such as destroying the property, non-payment of rent, not complying with the lease, owner moving into a property as long as that property is less than 3 units, among other causes of action. So if you can't prove one of those causes, you cannot remove a tenant in New Jersey. That is across the board tenants. So because New Jersey is so tenant friendly, it is just overall hard to get rid of, to evict the tenant. And the judges also are very pro-tenant. New Jersey also has laws that say the landlord or their attorney must strictly comply with all requirements under the Anti-Eviction Act, including notices. And not just that, tenants also may not waive any of their rights, regardless of what they sign. So New Jersey as a whole makes it difficult to evict tenants. Now let's discuss the implications of New Jersey being so difficult to evict tenants. This can become a big problem in circumstances like rent control. The rent could be set at an artificially low rent, much below the market, and you're stuck with this low rent and you don't have any means of removing the tenant. This can also be a problem if you have a difficult tenant. Maybe they are complying with the lease and there's no quote unquote cause to get rid of them, but you simply want to make a change. That is not going to work in New Jersey. So those are concerns why the New Jersey being a problematic and pro-tenant state can also have implications for the landlord from a financial and practical perspective. Now, Section 8 does make the process harder, not insurmountable, and not much more difficult as long as you know what you are doing. So what makes Section 8 different? First, besides proving for cause under the New Jersey Anti-Eviction Act, there is also federal law that has similar for cause that you will need to prove to evict a Section 8 tenant. Now, in reality, the causes line up pretty closely. So non-payment and non-payment, destruction of property, you'll have destruction of property, lease violations. However, there is additional causes of action that you need to make sure that if you're evicting on New Jersey law, that also apply to federal law, because you must satisfy both federal and New Jersey standards to win the eviction case. You also need to make sure to properly serve the local housing authority that is administering the Section 8, because they don't get notice your case will be dismissed. And courts in New Jersey have specifically held that if you do not strictly comply with both federal and state law as part of your eviction, the case will be dismissed. They can also add, I wouldn't necessarily call this complexity, but another step in the process is that you don't just have to review the lease to make sure everything's in order. You also have to review the Section 8 documents like the HAP contract to make sure anything in that document is also being properly followed. Okay, final takeaway. Evictions in New Jersey, Section 8 are very difficult because you have the for cause standard. Section 8 evictions are more difficult, not insurmountable, more difficult because additional notice requirements, additional federal standards to prove, and additional documents to review. If you need help with evicting a Section 8 tenant, give our firm a call. This is one of our primary practice areas.